Welcome back to the A1 ring. It's 20 degrees for race 6 of F1 2001, the Austrian Grand Prix. Don't forget, after the action, the result of our competition, plus Ross Kemp's dramas as a Jordan mechanic. But now we join Martin Brundle and Murray Walker.
Now, what a struggle McLaren have got. 7th and 8th on the grid, and in front of David Coulthard there is Nick Heidfeld. Nobody's mentioned Heidfeld yet today, the young German driver in the Sauber, very much the team of the season as far as I'm concerned. At any moment now the parade lap, the formation lap will begin. Now there are 71 laps in this race. It's a short track, 2.7 miles long, and away they go. Talk us round, Martin.
Yes, no, they don't want to use the launch control too much off the grid. They want to lay two black lines of as much rubber as they can get down to give themselves a better chance next time around. That's a very steep hill, as I hope you could see on the grid walk. Up there into turn 1 means you can brake super late, but it's dirty on the inside. Hopefully we'll go back on track. Yes, we will, as they head through turn 5, a really fast left-hander where they lean right on the outside of the racetrack, straight into another left-hander. If you any problems out of one corner, you're straight into the next one. Tends to have a snowball effect.
And in row 4, the two McLarens, as Jenson Button brings up the rear, the last grid. That is the 11th row of the grid. Look at Montoya. Watch for the lights when they come. There they are. It's going to be 5 when they all go out. The race will begin. There'll be a pause after the 5th light. And it's go. They get away. A good start. Brilliant start. And the two Jordans are left on the line. And up. And it's the two Williams in the lead already. Montoya leads. And Ralf Schumacher is in 2nd place. Michael Schumacher down to 3rd position. And look at that.
Hakkinen 2. So we've got a Sauber, a Jordan, and McLaren. There's another car also on the grid. So launch controls are still not sorted out. We've got a Williams 1-2, a Ferrari 3-4. Coulthard then. Too many cars to clear on the line, Murray. I wonder if they'll have to bring the safety car out. So many cars to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's a very short lap. It's Raikkonen who is stuck down there. And off goes the Jordan, and they're pushing it away from the line. Let us hope that they are able to clear those cars, because it's a magnificent start for the two Williams BMWs, and Montoya leads a Grand Prix as he did in Brazil, and it is Mika Hakkinen who is sitting on the line. Mika Hakkinen, who was 8th, the man who has done so badly in the World Championship this year, and double World Champion already, but lap 1 Montoya leads Ralf Schumacher, Michael Schumacher. Barrichello is still in 4th position. He started there.
I think they have to bring the safety car out, Murray. Too many cars to clear away. And let me have a look, see if I can see any kind of notice. The safety car is deployed, as you can now see on your screen. They cannot clear Hakkinen out of the way. He's not really in a super dangerous situation. Clearly they can't find neutral. There should be a separate reservoir of energy to pull that car into neutral. You lose all the hydraulic power when the engine dies. Should be a separate source of energy.
Martin, take this one again.
Look, they're just having to dive all over the place. So many. I've never seen so many stalled cars on the grid. Both Jordans then, Hakkinen and Raikkonen, and no dramas at the first corner. We're missing some key players by the time we get there. And look, a Williams 1-2. Coulthard appeared to have a good start. Look, virtually passed both Ferraris, but then lost out somehow. Is now back down in 5th place. And look at that. That's a sinking feeling in your heart if you're Eddie Jordan. And a disaster. All of these Fandango electronics, look, and they're just failing. They're failing the drivers, they're failing the teams.
As the race is going to restart, now watch out, because they're all tied up together. And it's Montoya, Schumacher, Ralf, Schumacher, Michael, Barrichello, David Coulthard. Then there's a gap to Eddie Irvine. Behind Eddie Irvine is Jos Verstappen in the arrows. He's come up from 16th to 7th position. Very close.
Look at Verstappen right up behind. Verstappen clearly on lower fuel, and that is truly off the road, truly out of what is 19th place. He stalled on the grid, remember. Verstappen was shaping up. Did he pass the McLaren? Yes, he did. Verstappen then up into 5th place, having passed Coulthard, who appears to be very slow at this stage of the race.
Now that arrows with the Asia Tech engine is blindingly quick in a straight line, and that's what happened to Trulli. Trulli hit, I think, was it Pedro de la Rosa or was it Eddie Irvine? Whichever, it was one of the Jaguars. He is out of the race, so it looks as though both the Jordan drivers are taking an early bath. Lap 12 out of 71, and you are looking at the stricken Williams BMW of Ralf Schumacher, who has just retired. He has rolled into the pit lane, having lost his place. There goes Schumacher, Michael through. There goes Barrichello. There goes Verstappen in the arrows. So Verstappen is now up into 4th position, and Montoya is being pushed very hard indeed.
If that's the replay then of Ralf Schumacher falling out of the race, some kind of technical problem on the way into turn 3. This happened earlier on in the race too. Eddie Irvine seems to be going backwards down the field, squeezing Villeneuve. They just the gentlest of kisses, and Villeneuve into a bit of a pendulum swing there. Irvine still holding down 9th place, certainly on his back foot. Jacques having to take to the grass. Yeah, he lost it initially, didn't he, off of the actual curbing and grass on the way in, as Eddie probably didn't see him coming up there. So Jacques will recover from that spin. We don't know what the problem is with Ralf Schumacher. And now look, the two Ferraris are hustling Montoya. Montoya's fallen off the pace by some 0.8 of a second. Remember, the tyres grain. Let me tell you what that means. They get the rubber rolls on top of the tyre, and instead of the tyre sitting on the track, you're squirming around on the little balls of rubber. You can't slow the car down, you can't turn it in, and you can't get on the power. And look, he's just absolutely a victim to be overtaken. All he can do is make that car as wide as possible, but surely they're going to pass him easily, as some say. When they do, they'll all go past him, but he's certainly clearly making a good job of holding them up, but he just has not got the grip to turn in or get out of the corners.
But he's holding him, and Rubens Barrichello, of course, is keeping Michael Schumacher respectable. Verstappen is keeping Barrichello respectable. Barrichello is looking for a way past Schumacher, who's got to hold him back, and at the same time try to attack Montoya. And that has given David Coulthard the opportunity to close a bit, and Raikkonen is in a 6th, but no, the Sauber is right up with them now, because Montoya is slowing up the race. You see, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and in 7th position Olivier Panis in the BAR is closing on them, and Montoya is struggling. Something has got to give.
Well, the tyres are letting him down. We know at this stage, we know how fast that car is in a straight line, and providing he can keep parking it in the middle of the apex. And of course, while you're fighting a guy who's holding up, creating a traffic jam, you've got to watch him, and you've got to watch your mirrors as well, Murray, because everybody will be trying to make, and somebody is being black flagged. So a black flag then.
It's Trulli. Jarno Trulli is being black flagged. Apparently he left the pit lane while the red light was on. 25-year-old Juan Pablo from Bogota in Colombia is an incredible man. He's totally unfazed.
This is the best chance that Michael Schumacher's had so far, Murray. Sorry to interrupt you, but can he go around the outside? We know Michael can brake a lot later, and still he's coming back. Michael's got to think of his world championship.
Oh, through goes Barrichello. Sorry, Martin. Through goes Barrichello. Off goes Montoya. Off goes Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher tried to dive inside Montoya, who had to go wide. He's gone onto the gravel, and so Rubens Barrichello has grasped his opportunity, and now Williams have got to fight back. We've seen Schumacher go out of the race. What's happening to Montoya? There he is inside Enrique Benoldi. So Montoya has slipped from 1st to 7th places.
Yes, and Montoya deciding that was silly actually. He should have let Michael go. He should realise that he's not in a position to fight for this race. And Michael went down the outside. He had a much better braking capacity. We know that's a tyre related thing at this stage of the race, and the Colombian just would not yield at this stage of the race. Barrichello, a new fastest lap up front on a 1:12.2, and Coulthard just about matching him in 2nd place.
Well, if Kimi Raikkonen moves into 3rd position as into the pits comes Jos Verstappen, it'll mean to say that Sauber are in a podium position for the 2nd time this year. The second's ticking away. Out goes Jos Verstappen. Now, the first 7 have gone through. We're waiting for Eddie Irvine now in 8th position as Verstappen comes up to the exit from the pit lane at turn 1. Eddie Irvine and Villeneuve have gone through, so it looks to me as though Jos Verstappen, who came in from 7th place, has dropped to 10th position. David Coulthard, of course, has moved up a place. It was Minardi, it was Tasso Marquez who was slowing up. And Michael Schumacher now, there he is, there is Marquez in the European Minardi touring out of the race. And that's Montoya slowing. Montoya slowed right down, having closed up on Kimi Räikkönen. You can see the cars passing him. It looks as though we are about to see the second Williams BMW retirement. Yes, the crestfallen people in the garage are taking the gloves off. They know that it's now time to pack up their equipment. The second retirement. But Williams and BMW and Michelin have again shown that they are very much a force to be reckoned with in Grand Prix racing. They're still developing the car, they're still developing the tyres. They've done a fabulous job, but the Austrian Grand Prix is over for them, and that means to say that Panis will now be in 5th position, and Jos Verstappen, the gallant Jos Verstappen, who made that early pit stop in the Arrows, having been in 2nd position, is back in the points. Martin reminded me about that brilliant drive of Damon Hill's in Hungary in 1997, when against all the odds in the Arrows he took and passed Michael Schumacher to lead the race.
How far can Coulthard go on his fuel? And it's Schumacher in the pits.
From 3rd position. Now it is up to Rubens Barrichello and David Coulthard to really get the hammer down now to try to improve their advantage as Michael Schumacher stops.
If I was Ferrari, I'd be asking James, can you tell us anything?
Well, looking about 9.3 seconds would be an ideal stop, pretty quick. That was a really nice stop. He's in the game. He's really in the game here, guys.
Yeah, remember they're 2/3 of the way through the race, so they shouldn't be too long for fuel, James. But if I was Ferrari now, I'd be asking Barrichello to ease up on this next lap and try to hold Coulthard up if they want to bring championship leader Michael Schumacher into play. Barrichello straight in at the end of the next lap, and good moves there by Ferrari.
And David Coulthard, who won the Brazilian Grand Prix and has been in the points at every other race this year, leads in Austria. But as I've said in the past, it's a false dawn because Rubens Barrichello has made his stop. Michael Schumacher has made his stop. We're on lap 48 out of 71, and David Coulthard has yet to come in. He's got to really, really hit it in this lap.
Well, it's all down to the drivers then for the Ferrari team. No more pit stops. They can, of course, play the team tactics over the radio, but can McLaren now pull out some kind of supersonic pit stop? How far can David Coulthard go on his fuel load? There's Michael locking up a right front, I would imagine, into turn 3 on his out lap, running a little bit wide. Look, yes, on the grass. Bad. If that's the out lap, it's a replay. We don't know exactly when it was, but not what Michael needed.
And is David Coulthard coming in? No, he is not. James.
It's going to be very marginal. We all know that. He had a 25.2 seconds lead, but of course his stationary time will be less. He's taking less fuel on board than the 2 Ferraris did. Did he do enough on his in lap? He's revving the engine, gunning the engine. 8.0. He might well do it.
Well, he's down the pit lane now. He's at the speed limit at the moment. Now look for the Ferraris on the right, and it looks as though David Coulthard is going to do it. He's coming up to the uphill section, and I cannot see the Ferrari yet. Yes, look, David Coulthard still leads. Barrichello is 2nd. Schumacher is still 3rd. Out of the race goes Jenson Button in the Benetton. Up come the fire marshals with flames licking out of the exhaust outlets. They need to get the fire extinguisher on that very rapidly indeed. 7 corners to go for David Coulthard.
Will Rubens Barrichello be told, and will he do as he's told? More importantly, and is that a cruising Barrichello? No, it isn't. He's just taking a slightly different line. Surely before the end of the lap he will have to let Michael Schumacher go past. I believe he will get that call, as does I know James down in the pit lane, but Coulthard then appears to have the fresh air between himself and the 2 Ferraris that he needs. Barrichello's going to make Michael wait until the absolute last moment if he's going to do it at all.
And there are just 2 corners left in the Austrian Grand Prix of 2001 for David Coulthard now, as he sweeps out of the right-hander down to the last corner of the circuit and the race, and David Coulthard wins, and Michael Schumacher is 2nd. Wow, there is team orders. Michael Schumacher gets 6 World Championship points. David Coulthard gets 10, and a bitterly unhappy Rubens Barrichello defers at the last moment. He will not be at all happy about that. But remember when David deferred to Mika Häkkinen as they approached the line in the Australian Grand Prix.
Hier nog een keertje de uitslag voor u op kaart. Geen Michelin-rijders in de punten. Eddie Irvine was de beste op de 7e plaats. Coulthard voor Schumacher, Barrichello, Räikkönen met zijn beste prestatie tot nu toe in de Formule 1. Panis toch weer 2 puntjes. Jos Verstappen zijn eerste punt van dit seizoen. Irvine net buiten de punten. Maar toch ook een mooi resultaat voor Eddie Irvine. Zijn beste prestatie dit seizoen. Villeneuve kan hij altijd